Namaskar, greetings and gratitude. I
Thank you
welcome you
so much,
all.
ma'am.
I welcome you, dear Gargi. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm fine, thank you. I welcome all my audience and to you to the Inspirational StarTalks episode number 79. And I am so glad to host today a keen educator at my StarTalks, who has joined her school recently after the summer break. So, how was your break time? Did you enjoy
Ma'am,
your
break is always good.
vacation?
Always rejuvenating. But at the
Absolutely.
same time, I start missing school.
Yes. Absolutely correct. You are absolutely
Rather,
correct.
I start missing work. I think this is a common thing amongst us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
So initially, it is like it's fine. We'll wake up late. We'll sleep late. We'll do things and this and that, and then and at the same time it just gets over at a blink of moment. It feels like it just started and it got over. So
It's
it
just
is like the overflowing of emotions.
absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So, we are in conversation with an English teacher, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, Gargi. You are a young, bubbly girl full of ideas,
Thank
and
you so
I
much,
really
ma'am. Thank you.
and I really remember in my podcast, in my webinars before my podcast, you were very enthusiastic and full of questions, and I really enjoyed answering your questions.
I
That
remember
was
those days as well,
so. Why did you
and that
choose
has made
field
me
of?
very comfortable. Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
No worries. I am really curious to know what
Hmm.
inspired you to take up the field of education for yourself.
I chose this because I like the spark this field creates. The maximum number of people I come across. As I initially I was an introvert, but with time, this profession has made me an extrovert. And the kind of spark I see in the eyes of the children that creates some other aura around me. So that is something which brings me every time I feel like changing the profession, it brings me back because I love creating that spark. And every day you get to see them do something new, bring up something new, and then with time, I have realized that students have grown to another level. I have been teaching for past 11, 12 years, and I can see how children have bring in those information which were not very common for us. We were the generation which depended on books, which depended on, I'm not saying it is bad, but we had limited sources. But these children have ample sources, and I can see not everybody, but most of them are using it flawlessly. So that spark brings me back to this profession time and again.
Okay, I read it
That I
in your,
feel that answers the question.
yes, it does. In your profile, you mentioned that you left your government job. Why did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
leave your government job?
Ma'am, actually, that was back in 2014, 14 and 15. That happened because I didn't want myself to be teaching only to those classes, and I didn't want myself to be restricted to that was primary teacher. So initially, I started with as a primary teacher. Today, I'm teaching class 11th and 12th. So I didn't want myself to be restricted to those classes. And I wanted growth for myself. Always, even today, I want growth. Every time I see something new, I want to grab the opportunity to learn that. Instead of just sitting and waiting for somebody else to do it, I do it myself. And I expect the same for kids. I teach instead of teaching them what to do, I teach them how to do.
And if it had not been teaching career, what would you have taken otherwise?
It might have been a counselor or a writer.
Wow.
These are the two professions I think I could have managed well, but it was always in my mind that I have to be a teacher.
Great. This is so great. Nice. And tell me, what strategies do you adopt if you see your children are not following your instructions?
Okay. So when the children are not following instructions, you need to calm down. You don't have to just go with the flow. They are also making noise. They are also chaotic. You don't have to be chaotic. That is my strategy. It might not work for everybody else. This is very subjective. Teachers are there. They have different ways of teaching. My strategy is wait, calm down. Let them have their words. Let them quench their thirst of questions. So that is my strategy. I let them speak. I let them be chaotic for a while. And after a while, when you leave them, they come back to you. That is my strategy. So the moment you leave them, the moment you also start shouting with them, the moment you also get into the same zone, they don't. They just carry on with that. But when I do the bulletin in my class, though I make sure that it doesn't happen because I make sure that initial days I set norms, which are like I also do not break them. And the moment I don't break them, they won't. So if some rule is for them, it is for me as well. So I let them be, and the moment you let them express, they calm down. They come back to you. Instead of reacting, I reflect. So that is my
Great.
strategy to bring them
Good.
back to me.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, are you your children's favorite?
Ma'am, I'm not sure of. I don't know if
Okay.
I'm their favorite, but one thing I make sure I'm sure of, even my first batch of students whom I taught in 2012, I met one of them in a cafe. He was singing, and I could not
Oh,
recognize that child. He walked up to me while leaving the cafe. I just told them that you are good. So I don't know what happened, and he walks up to me and says, "Ki, ma'am, have you, by any chance, have you taught at Salim?" I'm like, "Yes, I have." And then he introduces himself to me. And then I remember that, yes, I did teach this child. And still getting a message, getting a birthday message, getting all of a sudden, I getting that, "Ma'am, I scored this much," gives me all the satisfaction. So I believe that they like me, but I'm not sure if I'm their favorite.
okay. So, my last question to you, share some of your success stories and challenges that you came across in your school.
My success, my success stories. There have been a number of. There have been a girl. There was a girl back in 2016. I she went up to the stage and she blanked out. She was blank. She could not speak. It was a class six child, a kid, a very small kid. She just blanked out and she could not speak. I did not go to the when she came back, I just pacified her, and later she became one of the good orators. So that is one of the things. Yes, bringing a quiet child to getting her voice heard is like a success story for me. There have been occasions like uh, there are other occasions also. Every year you get something or the other. Just like back in 2018, there was a class which was given to me, which was like kind of unmanageable. And by the end of the year, they became one. It was like they all were fighting, howling, shouting, doing things. But by the end of the day, they all became a group. They all became one. And that was more than satisfying. It gives me satisfaction to another level.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think you got muted when I was asking you the question, how would you define
Yes.
yourself and what kind of a
Oh,
teacher you are? So I think we can have the
I
answer
would
again.
define myself as a soft-hearted, at the same time, strong boundaries, with strong boundaries. I set my boundaries very well, very, what do I call, very black and white. Nothing between the lines, nothing like, no, you can do this. No, if you cannot, I would also not do that. If I am setting some rule for you, that applies to me as well. If I set a norm in the class that you have to speak in English, that goes for me as well. If you don't tease others, that goes for me as well. I cannot call out a child, and if I follow those rules, they will definitely follow. So I consider myself as a soft-hearted, but with
Gargi?
trustworthy believer. I believe in children. I believe in them like they are
Okay.
they're magical. They're magical. I would tell you every day, even if I have the bad mood, the worst mood, I get into the class and I just forget everything.
Absolutely.
They bring you back from anything and everything.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that is something. I'm telling you, this is my driving force for this profession, in this profession. That is the best thing happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. Absolutely. It is so beautiful talking to you, Gargi. I'm
Same
so
here, ma'am.
glad.
Same here.
I'm so glad that you came today. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having me, ma'am. Thank you for considering me. I can be part of it, this.
So keep
Thank you,
going.
ma'am.
So it's
Sure,
nice
ma'am.
that you are soft hearted and maintain your boundaries as you are doing.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Yes, ma'am.
sure. Yes. I see you coming from primary to the PGT level and
Yes, ma'am.
many more miles to go.
Thank you, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. See you. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Sure,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, my dear audience, for being with us in this lovely chat today. I will come back with another personality who has inspired my life. Thank you. Have a good day.